I left school with I left school with a BTEC first in information technology, but it was a qualification that I didn't really, if I'm honest, I didn't really care about doing. Like most people, like most 16, 17, 18-year-olds, didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. My GCSEs were poor, educationally challenged, if you want to put it politely, but the fact of the matter was I wasn't very, like, I'm an intelligent guy, but I wasn't very good at academic stuff, exams and study and all that sort of stuff. I'm very much more around a practical person. Money was a priority to me. So I said, right, I think I could have a go at that. So I did. So I went in and applied for a job in a recruitment firm, Hayes, big corporate organisation, and got a job and learnt my trade. And 10 years later, I was running a business which turned over £32 million. And so for me, my journey has been, working-wise, very easy to explain. It's not rocket science. You'll never get rocket science from me. Easy to explain. It's work hard, it's dedication, it's determination, it's that desire to be successful and to keep on going and making sure that, yes, you need talent and yes, you need intelligence and common sense and all of them things, but actually what you really do need is to get your head down and work hard. Work as a team player, build relationships, and that's what I did throughout my career. I moved to Capita and I worked there for 6.5 years. Started there as a consultant, bottom rung of the ladder effectively, and left there with my business unit turnover 32 million. I had 30 staff working for me, 22 which were revenue generating, and I think we posted January 08 posted net profit, or December 07 effectively posted net profit of 1.84 million. Not bad for an uneducated boy. To go on the Apprentice, to beat 20,000 candidates to go on the Apprentice, to apply in the first place, you've got to have an ego, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm the first to admit I've got one, and I had one at Capita, and I wanted that fueled by, for the good work that I'd done to actually be promoted again into a director position. There's a lot of people in my team and at work and my friends, family, whatever, saying you should apply for the Apprentice. Why don't you give it a go? And the trouble is, when you're at an organisation for such a long period of time, I'm not going to use the word institutionalised because, that can be termed as anything else. I'm going to use the word comfort zone. And what happens is you get into a situation where you're in your comfort zone and there's so many people that are currently in their jobs right now that are in their comfort zone. And I was in my comfort zone, my business was turning over well. Yes, we had targets to hit and increasing percentage year on years to hit, which was a challenge in itself. Of course it was. But ultimately I was safe and I was in my comfort zone and I wanted something to get me out of that. And that's what the Apprentice was. It was kind of, wow, this would be a completely different challenge. Let's see what happens. And I applied and, it went from there kind of thing. It's a job interview. It's a job interview from hell. It is a process which allows Lord Sugar to look at you in different lights, in a sales light, in a marketing light, in a creative light, in a team light. And there's all these different attributes. So you can't look at it and say, oh, it's business. The only time it really becomes business is when you work for him. Then it's proper business. So it's a job interview. So it isn't like real business because, as you say, you are chopping and changing. But what it gets to show you, not only Lord Sugar, but yourself, what I got out of it personally myself is that you can make money out of starting a business from scratch, even if it's a laundry business. Like, it's real, that's not fake, it's real, you can do it. You can go door to door and do selling washing sheets or whatever it might be. You can do stuff selling fish. We got to do so much creative stuff that you would never have got to do in a normal role. So, you're looking at your skill sets and you're finding out more about yourself, trying to understand, well, actually, I could do this, or maybe I'm not so good at that. Or presentations, for example. Now, in my real life, I do them all the time. I'm a public speaker. That's what I do. I do a lot of after dinner speaking. On The Apprentice, my first presentation was a complete and utter shocker. Like, I had a total shock on it. So, and I didn't think I had problems with presenting. But what it does, it highlights your good points and your bad points and where you need to improve on. And I think that everybody that goes through The Apprentice has a positive experience because of that. I went in there to learn from the master. I went in there to learn from somebody who has started businesses from scratch, year on year, years after years after years. A self-made millionaire of £900 million, probably arguably the best entrepreneur the UK's seen, in recent history. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn from him. So my advice or tips for people applying is, firstly, why are you applying? what's the thing? Because you won't go into the Apprentice and win it if you don't want to win it. Do you see what you said? I know that makes. I know it's easy to kind of make sense, really, really easy, but he knows if you're going to want to win it or not. The format next year, the Apprentice is changing. I don't know how much you guys know about it, but the format of the Apprentice next year is changing, whereby he invests money in you setting up a business, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a fantastic format. Having said that, if you don't want to set your own business up, why would you be going to Apprentice? Probably out of 16 candidates that go on it, I'd say probably 10 of them don't even want to work for him. They just want to get the TV exposure. So tip number one is don't apply if you don't want to win it. You have to go in wanting to, get. I'm not saying that you will win it, but you need to have that kind of hunger and that desire. Amscreen was an idea that Simon and Lord Sugar had before I was involved. I think, I was still going through my latter stages of the Apprentice or whatever. I hadn't been hired yet. And they had an idea that they wanted to get into an up-and-coming market, digital signage market. When I joined as a development director, and we had no product, we had no marketing, we had no real teams. We acquired businesses. So when I say we, I mean obviously they acquired businesses and I was part of that. So I learned the processes around due diligence, around acquiring an organisation, how it would actually work, how we could actually integrate two organisations together. And that was part of my job, is actually to get the two different teams, if you like, integrated and working in a Amscreen fashion. My role was around developing on the sales team. We built a big sales team there as well, to actually go out and start selling. We went into convenience. That was our biggest market, which was petrol station convenience, and now it's expanded into how can I call it? Kind of Tesco's, Metros, and co-ops and spas. That sort of small shopping convenience. But in the petrol station, the first deal that we did, they had an incumbent supplier for 2.5 years at BP. And we got in at the 11th hour, and this is what I always tell my salespeople, and always when I'm consulting and stuff, always look over your shoulder, because we come in within 7 months, we're taken not only over what they were running as a trial, but we signed a contract with them, a 5-year contract with BP, which, with the advertising projections, probably worth about £5-6 million over that 5 years, which is a mega contract for a startup company that we didn't have anything, we didn't even have product when we started. Primarily, I'd always sold services, so to actually go and sell a product, to make the product and sell the product, and then sell the advertising services on top of that as well, it was a fantastic experience. When I resigned, it wasn't my finest moment in terms of resigning with Lord Sugar. But look, he gave me his blessing, gave me his backing. He felt that I was going to be in the longer term. They were building something special, and they have built something special there. But for me, it was just a time. I'm passionate about recruitment. I hope that's come across today. In terms of where my passions really lie. And although I love the Amscreen business and it was a fantastic business, for me it was about recruitment and getting back into something that I really wanted to do. And the timing was right, and that's why I left. A lot of businesses will hire based on qualification. And the reason why they do it is a sifting exercise. They will actually look at these, lots of CVs that are coming through. And you might have 1,000 CVs, and out of that 1,000 CVs, there might be 100 of which have degrees. Don't matter what they are, because you don't need a degree for sales, clearly. So whatever it might be, they might just have degrees. So what an employer does, or what the recruitment agent does, whoever's sifting through, says, right, well, I'm not going to be looking at 1,000 CVs. I'll just take them on degrees out, and I'll just look at the 100. Sifting tool. So then 900 CVs that now you're not looking at could be your gem, could be the perfect person for your business, yet you've just discarded them because of a time factor. Oh, we haven't got time, we haven't got resourcing time. Well, we need to make time. And that's the whole point about Water Talent Academy. We do the work for you, you don't need to worry. We'll do it on that side. My advice to spotting talent is to see what's effective in your business already, what's effective in their business, the types of people, and profile the types of people that they've already got, and then try and replicate that or clone them, if you want to use that word. But if it's already working in your business, then chances are that type of person will work well again in your business. So let's try and find that type of person, instead of looking for somebody that says that they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and actually are they? It's very difficult. somebody who is a really good salesperson needs to have the hunger. They need to have that desire. They need to have that personality, that confidence. And it's a little bit like, the more confidence you got, the more you end up going to sell. The less selling you do, the less confidence you have. It's a bit of a weird, it's a catch-22 situation. You've got to have somebody who's, common sense, who's streetwise. Do you know what I mean by that? That's somebody who's got that little bit about them, that can sniff a deal, that can understand what the client wants and actually provide and provide a solution to what the client actually needs. And the only way you're ever going to do that is find knowledge. So you have to have knowledge about the client, knowledge about the product you're selling, knowledge about the service that you're selling, and to be passionate about it and to be enthusiastic about it. And no one will buy from somebody who's, oh yeah, do you want to buy from me? And no one's going to buy from that. Somebody, you want to feel good. You want to come up, wake up in the morning and, my glass is half full and not half empty. It's that enthusiasm, that passion. And that's what you need to have, the raw attributes, the raw talent, effectively, which is why I set my business up. The Raw Talent Academy is about that. It's about looking for people and making sure that they've got them raw talents to begin with in order for us to start working for them. We can train them in sales techniques. We can train them in different techniques of how they should sell and how they should close. What we can't train them in their personality traits. And that's why I say that we should be hiring people based on personality and based on ability rather than based on CVs and academic qualifications. When I was at school, we had nothing to do with business. It was all about maths and English and science. It was all about exams, French, you had to learn a French or a German or whatever, and I think that's now coming back in compulsory. I think last week it was announced, obviously from a European perspective. And look, these things are great, but where do I ever use quadratic equations? Look, honestly, unless I'm a scientist, unless I'm a laboratory or mathematician or whatever, where am I actually going to use this? The skills that I need in school is the skills that we all need, which is that, yes, it's that confidence and all that side of things that we talked about, but it's that ability to sell yourself into a role, into an organisation, build your own stuff, build your own organisations up, work together in a team. Where is all of that? So there's a lot of people that are floating about thinking, I don't know what to do. If we'd have given them that business enterprise, that platform, if you like, in business, would it now be different?